Hello, my name's Andrew Brooks. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This video we're going to be looking at From Liverpool, the Beatles Box, and why it contains some unusual stuff. Hello, and thank you once again for joining me on my YouTube channel. My name's Andrew Brooks. I'd just like to say hello and a big thank you to all the new subscribers. And if you're not already a subscriber, just click down here, little red square, and you'll hear of any new videos of mine that come out straight away. Anyway, enough of that. So let's look at the task in hand. So today we're going to be looking at, you've probably seen behind me, the Beatles Box from Liverpool, or From Liverpool, the Beatles Box. And I'll just get one down for you just to show you what it looks like. They are quite a weighty tome, as you can see, and it's sort of like designed like a packing crate. That's how thick they are. That's the back. So yeah, it's like a wooden crate sort of design from Liverpool, and basically telling you it's a Beatles box set. I'll stick that back up there, but we will have a look inside. We will have a look inside in the future. So let's look at the details of this. So it was an 8 LP and cassette version were released on the 3rd of November in 1980. So yeah, there was 8 LPs or 8 cassettes in those boxes, and it was issued by a company called World Records, which I believe is a subsidiary of EMI, and it was issued in the UK by World Records, and I believe it was also issued in Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and I have heard of Mexico as well, but that's unconfirmed. To my knowledge, it was never released in the States unless it was imported over and a shop bought it in, because you couldn't buy it in the shops. It was mail order only. So it could be that they were available in the US if your local shop just happened to buy one in. So just a little bit of an interesting note. This was the last Beatles release in John Lennon's lifetime, because unfortunately we lost him the next month in December of 1980. Okay, so how did you find out about this? Well, if you was already a member of the World Records Reader's Digest, whoever you bought it through, you periodically used to get sent like adverts for forthcoming releases in the form of a Flexi Disc. As you can see, there's the disc, and I'll take it out of its little sleeve that I've got protecting it. So it's a one-sided Flexi Disc made by Lintone, which is the same company that made the Beatles Christmas Flexis. I'm guessing they were the company to go to if you wanted a Flexi Disc. And the Flexi Discs became quite popular in the 70s. You got them on the front of music magazines and things like that. But yeah, this is Lin 8982, if ever you see one knocking around. I'll show you the actual label. It's there, and it just says the Beatles Box, plays at 33 1/3. And it says World Records presents the music of the Beatles. Now, interestingly, it says McCartney Music Co. and then after it, Northern Songs Limited. Interesting. So I'm guessing because McCartney owned maybe some of the recordings like Love Me Do and things like that, that's why they had to sort of incorporate that. So anyway, that's the Flexi Disc. I'll be honest, this is the only one I've ever seen. I've never seen another one for sale. I'm sure they are out there, and I'm sure there's ton loads, and everyone's going, yeah, I've got one of them in my box. But yeah, for me, that's the only one I've ever seen, and I bought it straight away. I can't remember how much I paid for it, and yeah, where I got it or when I got it, but I can't imagine it would have been very much. So that's that. So how else could we have found out about this fantastic release? And trust me, if you carry on watching, you'll find out how fantastic this release is. So they also made full-page adverts, and unfortunately, after John Lennon's tragic death, they really cashed in on this. So this is a full-page advert, as you can see there, from the Daily Mirror on Wednesday, December the 17th, 1980. So that is just a mere what, 9 days after John's died, and there's a big full page advert, and it just basically says they didn't just make history, they didn't just make they didn't just make music, they didn't just make the news, they made history. New release, spectacular collection that's the best of the Beatles. And it just basically shows you the sort of like the box up here, the records, a few pictures here, how to order it in mail order here, and also available down here in cassettes. Fantastic. I won't go into the full blurb, and if anyone's interested, I could scan it in or take a picture of it and stick up on the video in the comments at the end, maybe. So interestingly, how much do you think back in 1980 this 8 LP or 8 cassette box would cost? Well, I can tell you, in December 1980, this whole thing would have cost you a princely sum of £29.75, which was a lot of money back in the 80s. I don't know, can't remember how much I was earning back in the 80s, but 30 quid is probably quite a lot of money. I'm trying to equate that into American. That's probably $45 back in 1980, to think about that. Or you could buy it monthly, sort of like a first payment of £8.75, followed by 3 monthly payments of £7.40, totaling £30.95. So it cost you a little bit more, probably about £1.20 more to do it through a monthly subscription. And if you order it now, bearing in mind this is the middle of December, you are guaranteed a January delivery. So that's a newspaper advert for it. And then in the glossy magazines we got these. Woohoo! For exactly the same thing. It's a nice colour advert for it, and I'm guessing this must have been a little bit later, probably in 1981, or in fact there we are, 1982. It says at the bottom, offer only open to UK residents over 18, closes 31st of March 1982. So a year later we get in colour adverts, and the price has gone up. Of course it has. It's now £35.95, probably, I don't know, $50, something like that. 124 tracks anyway in these box sets. So as I say, it was heavily advertised after John's passing, but it came at a time of when the original release came out. It came at a time of heaps of Beatles sort of issue albums. There was things like Beatles ballads, then you had the rarities albums, both the British and the American versions, and you also had things like the Music for Pleasure, the cheap record label for rock and roll music, and then you had Ringo on there, and Mind Games and Dark Horse and stuff like that. So they all came out round about this time. But there's something that makes this box set far more interesting than any of those reissues that came out, and they are the tracks on this LP consisted of, and not all of them, consisted of different mixes of well-known tracks that were only available in like odd countries. So they'd never been heard. These mixes had never been heard, in the UK, and they might have had the American mix or whatever. So I have compiled a list. I'm sorry if I'm just reading a list at you, but I thought you might be interested to know sort of like what tracks, and if ever you get the opportunity to buy one of these, and I believe they're relatively cheap on eBay, surprisingly, because a lot of these things, you've got to remember this is 1980. Now a lot of these have already been issued, probably on on a compilation somewhere. But anyway, they've got things like the Ringo version of Love Me Do, the UK single. They've got the mock stereo version from the Please Please Me album of P.S. I Love You. They've got Thank You Girl, which is a mono mix, and it's got none of John's harmonica fills. So these are the little things that, if you're a collector of the music, let alone a collector of the records, but if you just like the music and like hearing different mixes of it, this is something for you to get if you can find one. they've got a mock stereo of She Loves You, which was only issued on a collection of Beatles oldies, which was a British album that came out, 65. And it's a mock stereo that only ever appeared on that album. They've got a version of All My Lovin' with a hi-hat intro, because obviously normally it just goes straight into the song, but this has got the Ringo's hi-hat intro to count them in. It's got a mono mix of This Boy. As I said, it's got And I Love Her, which was only available on the American Rarities album. So over here we wouldn't have got that because we had the British one, which was different. We've got true stereo recordings of Long Tall Sally, Matchbox and Slow Down. We've also got a true stereo recording that was only found in Australia, Singapore, Malaysia and Hong Kong of She's a Woman. I'm guessing that's sort of like, their pressings. They were given a true stereo version of She's a Woman. Again, a true stereo version of I Feel Fine, and this has got the little whispering at the start. It's incredible that they've managed to, I don't know if it was conscious or subconscious, they've just grabbed whatever reversions they could get. They've got a stereo version of I'm Down, which is fantastic when you think about it. Now Day Tripper is a different mix, and that was only from the American Yesterday and Today album. So over here in the UK we would never have got it. And Your Bird Can Sing, again, is a true stereo, only available in America. Now interestingly, the next one is Penny Lane, and that's got the American Rarities version with the piccolo trumpet ending. And and after I've heard that, I dare anyone, well, after they've heard that version, whenever they hear Penny Lane, not to add in their own little subconscious do 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 do, the bit at the end. And they've also got on here an edited version, which I found out was from the Blue album. I can't say I noticed it, but it's a Day in the Life is an edited version that was only available on the Blue album. Why have they included it here? Who knows? I think they just got whatever tapes or masters they could get. They've got the mono version, the mono mix of All You Need Is Love. And then this is a really nice one, because this was only available on a German Magical Mystery Tour album, a true stereo of Baby You're a Rich Man. Now that was issued as an EP on an EP when the EP set came out over here, but even that was fake stereo. This is a true stereo from the German album Magical Mystery Tour. I'm the Walrus is the US Rarities composite, which they were looking at putting out as a single or something, and so two engineers sort of composite made a slightly different variation. I believe it's got like extra bits in the middle and stuff like that. The continuing story of Bungalow Bill is minus the Mellotron intro, because a little Spanish flamenco guitar that you hear at the start of it is actually played on the Mellotron. And it's missing off of this. It just goes straight into Hey Bungalow Bill. The next two we've got are the LP versions of, so the Phil Spector versions of Get Back and Let It Be. I've also found out on this box set we've got the Hey Jude LP version of Paperback Writer, which has got sort of the balance reversed on it or something. I'm no expert, but that's what's stated on when I've looked into these tracks. We've also got the Across the Universe, which was version 2 in mono, and in my mind version 2 I believe was only available in stereo, so this is a mono mix of Across the Universe. Next one probably isn't so much as a different mix. I think it's because they were cramming so many tracks on one side that they've done this. It's got from the end of the end to Her Majesty, instead of being the 20-second delay, it's only 5 seconds gap, and I suspect that's just purely just to cram on some more of the tracks, because these LPs are really jam packed full. And then lastly, and this list I'm sure is not extent, there's more that I haven't mentioned, but I find this one the most interesting one. It's got a version of I'm Only Sleeping, and it's got delayed guitar solo, and it was only available on the Yesterday and Today American 8-track tape cassette, and it's delayed guitar solo, so it's a slightly different mix again. So yeah, to have all these now available in the UK before the internet and everyone sharing files and all that. Now I did promise I would show you inside. So inside we've got, let me open it up for you. So there's the listings on all the LPs, and then each LP has a really nice glossy picture sleeve and a little bit of blurb on the back. And as I say, each one is a different picture depicting different points in their careers. So there we are. Help sort of time, that's record 3. Record 4 is that one. Record 5, oh, hang on. Ooh, got a little issue. There we go. Just get these out. Excuse me. There we go. So record 5 is that one, and then we're on to the All You Need Is Love sessions, which is Our World, which is that one. And then we're on to sort of Mad Day Out sort of time, 68, and then finally we've got that one, which is also from the Our World sessions, and that's record number 8. Okay, that's really it for the LPs. However, don't tune out just yet. On the early sets there was an error. One of many, I'm sure, if you scour all the writings and stuff like that. So this is the cassette version that I've got here, and this is an early cassette version, and I'll show you how you can easily tell. Inside we get so I should have shown you this. Inside on the cassettes we get this nice sort of little write-up, and I'm guessing that's because you couldn't fit all the information on the back that's on the back of the LPs onto the little cassette boxes. So inside, let me open this up for you. There we are. There's the cassettes all laid out. Now, how you can tell if you've got an early one, take a look at this cassette and you may spot the error straight away. Yes, all of a sudden we've got a left-handed John Lennon and a right-handed Paul McCartney. So that's there's the cassette there. So that's an error that was only on early boxes. So they corrected it, because on my LP it's the correct way around. However, there are apparently incorrect LP versions as well, so it's just ones to watch out for, little things like that to let you know you've got an early version. And some people collect the little mistakes, don't they? So that's that. Okay, well, I hope you found this interesting. I would highly recommend this this box set. It's jam-packed full of really unusual and obscure mixes. That's all I've really got to say about it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. Don't forget, hit the button down here, and then probably up here there's now a couple of links to some videos of mine that I think you may find interesting. So keep watching, and I'll see you next time.